Over the last few years, I've had to do quite a few lightboards. For those of you who aren't familiar with the lightboard, it's almost like a whiteboard, but has a piece of glass, and you use it afterwards and you flip it and make it look like I'm writing on the screen, making it easier for you to see and a nice easy image. Now, normally you need a very dark room, oftentimes a studio, a very large lightboard. It's often one of those standing ones on wheels or a stand on a table, but they're very expensive. Now, that doesn't really work when you're sitting at home in today's climate. So what I did was I looked at a way to come up with one that I could put on my desk that wasn't a lot of money, you could build yourself, and have a lightboard at home to work on things like this. There's certain components you need for this. The first thing is going to be some sort of base. Now, on mine, I found a whiteboard base that's a desktop whiteboard. It's about a 2 feet wide whiteboard. You can find it off Amazon. I'll have the link below as well. It's just a nice little base that has enough room for the glass to sit into it. The next piece you're going to need is that glass. Now, I didn't go with a piece of solid glass. I actually went with a piece of Lexan or acrylic. But you need either glass or the Lexan. Now, the Lexan does scratch a little easier. It probably doesn't clean up as crisply, but if you're looking for a home, it's a whole lot easier to find. If you have a glass shop near you, you can probably do that. I ordered the Lexan. I did a 24-inch by 24-inch square that I ordered off of Amazon. Now, you notice it runs a little bit wider than my base. Just barely though, only about that much. Because the next thing you're going to need is some lighting. Now, if you have stage lighting or some sort of bright lighting already at your house, you could use that. The challenge is you want most of the light on the presenter side of the screen. Very little on the other side. Now, you want a reasonably dark room, but depending on your lights, you can probably make it work. What I did on it is I was looking to add a set of lights just to the border of the Lexan. Now, you only need to do 3 sides. That'll give you plenty. You don't need to try to project up from the bottom. That lights up the glass, so you get this nice effect. But how do I light me? The next thing I needed was a second set of them. And this set faces directly at me. I used the LED light strips, a standard 8mm light strip. Now you have 2 options on how to attach it to the board. The first, you can get shower door liner. It's very cheap, very economical, $10 around to put it, and it will fit just this inside one and hold it nicely against the glass. Now that works pretty well if you have other lighting. If you don't, I ended up having to go with an option I found from a project at Duke University that they were making a full-size lightboard. They created a piece that you 3D print that actually just has a base and angles out. And right here, it cuts in, comes over, and then it cuts in 2 more times. These cut-ins here is where you slide the light strip. Now, conveniently, I had a 3D printer, I was able to print them. They come in about a 5-inch section, so it's about that big. I made them larger. I made a bunch of 6-inch sections and then 2 3-inch sections just to fill out the space. What I also found was on this size lightboard, you didn't need this space here. I only ran 1 strip of lights here and 1 against the glass, and I ran 2 different sets of lights. Now, doing that allowed me to dim down the lights for the one facing at me. If I make them brighter, you can really tell. But I don't need them that bright in the room. Now, if you don't have a 3D printer, hopefully you have access to one, or somebody you know can help it. You actually have the link for that from Thingiverse that Duke has provided as an open source as well. Now, you put all this together, and you've got a nice desktop home lightboard. All you do is put a webcam on the other side and start recording. You can use pretty much any video editing software to do the 180-degree flip. Camtasia is a really easy one. If you're looking for that, you can also use things like Adobe Premiere if that works as well, if you have it. Now, all of this seems like it's probably going to be really expensive. It actually wasn't. You can put all this together, not including obviously the cost of the 3D printer and printing out the pieces, but if you were to use the liner, it wouldn't be much different. Everything ended up being about $235. All off Amazon, nice and easy to order, and I got it in just a few days. So that is how to put a Lightboard together at your desk at home.